Welcome back to DataPower Gateway Training, and today in this video I am going to walk through you DataPower console. Let me log into this is the DataPower UI. DataPower can be accessed through any browser. The mostly I would recommend you can use the Chrome or Firefox. Then type your DataPower URL. Once you type it, I do have admin privileges, so I am going to log in as admin. If you have any other user and password for your particular domain, you can go and select your domain and provide your username and password. And I'm going to log in the default domain, which is the administrative domain for DataPower appliance. So this DataPower appliance box can be accessed through internet. So it's a little bit loading, taking time to load the pages. So this is the latest DataPower console of DataPower Gateway, which is the latest version IDG, the Integrated Gateway DataPower Gateway 7.2.0.1, and build number is this. This is IBM DataPower Gateway. So it has all the models. If you see the B2B, which is the XB62 appliance feature, and if you see services, you can see the multi-protocol gateway and XML firewall and web service proxy. You could see here there is no the XSL accelerator because we are not going to use it. And we will look about each and every services. What is web service proxy? What is multi-protocol gateway? What is XML firewall? And where we need to use which kind of firewall services. We will see that in upcoming classes. This is going to be only DataPower console walkthrough. So we have a monitoring and troubleshooting option where you can able to see the view logs and troubleshooting and view status, and here files and administrations where you can see the file management and system control, import configuration, export configuration, keys and certificate management. So let's start with the view logs. If you click the view logs, you can able to see the logs for particular time frame. It seems to be a lot of error has been happened from the some port 5550. Somebody is trying to attempt that port. It's a refusal to the connection. So that's what this log has happened the recently. So you can able to see all the logs levels. If you want to see the log for the debug level mode, you can have an option. You can go to control panel again, click on a control panel link, and you go to click on troubleshooting, and here you can able to change the logging level error to debug mode. It has the packet capture and stop packet capture. We will look into this. This is purely admin related things. So if you're taking the admin part of course, you can able to see these topics explained there. But this is the general console overview. So I am just giving an idea about what are the things we can able to do it as part of the development perspective. So set log level in debug. So it says the pop-up logged. I need to accept the pop-up. allow pop-up always from this IP, then I am going to set log level. I think I need to refresh the window to take this effective. So let's again try it. Change the log into debug mode and set log level. So it's opening the new pop-up and it's asking you to confirm you want to set the log into debug mode. You said just confirm. It confirmed. So once you did this change, you can able to see the warning saying that intensive log is enabled. Intensive logging is enabled. Intensive level of logging is enabled means which means impact the performance of the data power because you turn on the debug mode, which means you are logging all the incoming and outgoing and all the inter transaction logging, everything you are logging. So once you did that, you can able to go to control panel. Let me open a new window to make it faster. So now you can see the view logs. You can able to see the difference. Instead of error, you can able to see lot of things. See, you can. It's all in debug mode, so you can see all the related transactions, what's happening inside DataPower. So once you done your troubleshooting, I would recommend it go back and turn off the debug log into error mode so that it will not load the data power heavily. Once you did this, you might see that the warning sign is going off now. So once you make any change, you need to always go and do save configuration. Otherwise, your changes will not be effective. So you have option here, remote ping, which means you can able to test whether your data power has firewall open to internet. Like if you click ping remote, I am typing google.com whether see my data power can able to ping the Google server. So which means action completed successfully means I can able to ping the Google server. If not, you will get some error. For example, you can type some invalid address like blah blah blah.com and ping remote. So try to execute this URL, you can immediately get resolve name. So this is the error. The same way you can able to use the TCP connection test with particular port. For example, your data power firewall has been opened to connect particular port. We will let's check the google.com 80 port. I am able to connect it, which is equivalent of the telnet command what you are doing from the command prompt. So our data power path is good to talk to internet. And couple of things I would like to show you here. If you type network Ethernet interface, so this is the virtual appliance data power which is running on the cloud. So we have only 4 Ethernet interfaces: ETH0, ETH1, ETH2, ETH3. So what I did is I splitted this Ethernet port for particular operations. For example, if you go here, host alias, I have created this host alias. The This is the management. This is the internal IP. What you are seeing here is the elastic IP, which means the public IP through internet. But this is the internal data power IP. We are connecting to management port. This is the management port. So I make alias at the management. So what I'm doing here is this is ETH0 basically. The ETH1 is 22, ETH2 is 23, ETH3 is 24. So I'm making ETH2 as the inbound to making all the services to coming through only this IP address, and I'm making 23 is outbound. So whatever the service is going outbound, which means it's going to call some services in the internet, it goes towards the outbound. So I'm using this fourth internet LAN port for logging and monitoring. So this is the host alias. You can also see DNS settings, which means based on the DNS settings, you can able to see your data power can able to talk to internet or any other service and firewall opened. So this is the DNS, which means the internal DNS IP address. But most of probably in your home, you can have your router, so you can make the router IP address as a DNS. You can see here the NTP service. The NTP service is the network time protocol service, which means so various user can able to log in data power from various time zones for Eastern time zone, Central time zone, and Pacific time zone. But we want to ensure that all the transactions happening through data power should be made on only particular time zone. So for that, the network timing protocol service will set the data power into particular time zone. So the user from Eastern time zone log into data power. The user from California Pacific time zone log into data power. All the transactions will be on the particular time zone only. The same time zone, not their location specific time zone. It's all that data power server based time zone. That's what the NTP service is telling like here. Also here we could see couple of options. I would probably take this later session because it's a very basic introduction about the data power console. The another important thing I want to show you is the data power file structure. So this is the file management, which is basically explain you the file structure of the data power appliance. So by default, data power file structure will be looks like this, which has CERT, which means the certificate folder, which has the each domain. Because I am in default domain, administrative domain, I have all different domains created folders here, and each corresponding domain specific certificates will be available in the corresponding domain. For example, let's go down. It's nothing there. That's what it's not showing that. If something is available, it will show you. And there's a checkpoint folder, which means each domain has its corresponding checkpoint. For example, if you want to do some firmware upgrade, or you want to do some upgrade on the data power, you want to make your current domain as a backup, you can save it as a checkpoint. So something goes wrong, you can regain access to your all the domains from the checkpoints of the data power, whatever you're taking as a checkpoint. This is the config. Basically, this is the configuration what we have in each and every domain. So each domain has its own config CFG file. So you can able to manage the configuration information using the config directory. Export directory is one of the thing when you want to export the files from the data power, which means you want to create a deployable file. In data power, all the deployable file will be in zip format. So once you have to export it. So once you export the file to deploy into another DataPower box, for example dev system into QA test system, dev to QA, you have to export that your code, and you have to download the exported code, and you have to import the code into the QA DataPower box. So all the exported codes based on the particular domain will be available here. The images, obviously, the firmware images, not any images, pictures like this, JPG or PNG, not kind of images. This image basically the DataPower virtual appliance image and certificate image to activate the corresponding model. So that image goes here. Local is all your local files will be available. Your local XSL transformation, your local XML file, your local XSLT file, and your local configuration file, everything you can upload here. Log store is primarily for if you are writing any service specific log file, you can utilize this log store to store that log files. Log temp will be used for the temporary logging. By default, all the logging will be stored here in temporary logging. And policy framework, where you can have a particular kind of policy exposed, the deployment policies for your particular domain, which will be available here. The public certificate is the certificate which is used for public certificate, which can be used for Amazon or VeriSign or lot of public certificates already available in this DataPower box, which is already provided by the IBM. And shared certificates. If you are creating a certificates, or if you have your shared certificate and private key, you need to maintain all the shared certificate and private key here. The store. The store is folder is kind of library for IBM DataPower management of IBM DataPower gateway. You cannot edit anything here. You can able to reuse what is available in the store folder. You can able to reuse it on your exercises. We will see in upcoming exercises how we can able to use this files or XSLT available under the store folder, how we can able to leverage this into our exercises. This is basically kind of library code or predefined code which can be reused for our firewall rules. The task template, which is something new here, it's basically giving you the template for particular task. We will get into this later part. And temporary, it's self-explanatory. So all your temporary files, temporary certificates, temporary things will be stored here. So see the difference. If I am changing the domain, if I am going to the file directory again, see here, you can see all the particular domains related configurations. But if I am going to change the domain, for example, if I am going to change the demo domain, then I am going to go on file management, see the file structure. You cannot see the other domain details. You can able to see only the corresponding your domain details. See, the certificate is not expandable because it's only for your demo domain. Checkpoints is for only your demo domain. Configuration is only for your demo config. Export, local, everything is for your demo except store. Store you cannot, as I said, you cannot edit anything on the store. So the remaining things are common, but it's not showing the all available domains. It's all only for your particular demo domain. So basically, each and every developer in DataPower box will get access to their particular project-based domain, so they can able to see this project-based certificate, checkpoints, exports, all those things. Go back to control panel. you can see the options called export configuration. This is the one normally we can able to take our code as a deployable format zip file, and import configuration, which is normally used. The deployable zip file will be imported into another DataPower appliance. And keys and certificate management, where you can able to store your keys and certificates. System control is something related to this domain because we are in demo domain, and you can able to I think you can change your password and restart domain, reset your domain. So the another important thing I would like to show you is if you change again to the default domain, which is the admin only domain. So the primary rule for DataPower: do not create any firewalls, do not create any development activities in default domain. So default domain is only for administrating the DataPower appliance. So no development based access will be allowed here to do in default domain. So you should develop any firewall, any configuration, any policy should be on your project specific domain or application specific domain, which will be created by your DataPower administrator. We will see how the export configuration, import configuration will be working as part of the deployment process, but we are not going to do it now because we are on the very primary stage. The if you want to see what are the available models are available in this particular appliance, you can say that you can search here, like it's called something called available features. I think it's not available features, something I forget the name, sorry. I think it's features. Yes, it's called device features. If you click on the device features, you can see what are the features this appliance can be able to support, and what are the features are enabled, and what is are available. You can see MQ support is enabled and available. Lot of things. JMS and database connectivity or application optimization, which is for the self load balancing, and the business to business service, which is XP6260, and IMS support. So lot of all the functionalities are enabled in this data gateway. So you can use this gateway as the XG45, XP62 as well as XA52. In any case, in any use case you can able to use this data gateway because all the models are enabled and activated by license here. And if you want to see something called system settings, you can go here. So this is basically give you the basic information about DataPower system settings. So this is what the application name you can able to see here, DataPower IDZ. So that's what it's showing here, and this is the product ID. This is the description what you are saying here, which is not editable. It's a serial number and everything you can able to see here. So the custom user interface, if you want to add your company specific header and footer information saying some um, end user license agreement, for example, the critical information to access this box, you can able to do it here by uploading some XSL, which is available in the data for box. We can able to see that in future as well. Also something called system control. where you can able to edit NTP service settings. And this boot image, basically here you need to upload the latest current image, the current release of the firmware, DataPower firmware. You can upload it and accept the condition boot image, which means now the version is 7.2.0.1. If you have a new version called 7.2.0.2, download the firmware, upload the firmware and the boot image, then it will be booted. If you want to switch back to the previous installation, you can simply click switch installation image. As I told you, this is the configuration. Something happens wrong, you want to recover your domain based on the configuration. Select your configuration file and you can set the configuration. And this is the secure backup. You want to do a secure backup for your entire data per box, so you can able to use this feature. And secure restore, you want to restore the data per box from the previously taken the secured backup, you can able to use this one. In the shutdown, the data per shutdown has three options. One is the halt systems, which means totally shutting down the system. The reboot system, which means it's rebooting the system. By rebooting the system, your all the domains will be restarted. Reload firmware means it's reload only particular firmware. Here you can have a restore domain and reset domain, and I think this is deprecated, but you can able to change it. If you have any self-signed certificate, you can able to specify the name and generate the self-signed certificate here. So these are the various options. So these are the, I think now you get some good idea about data power control panel or data power console walkthrough. You can able to, once you get the data power access from your company, or you can get the access from, I know one of the vendor providing the data power access from monthly based cost, which is 3line infotech. I think if you go here 3lineinfotech.com, and they have data power access subscription. So they have and the XI52 or data power gateway IDG appliance access. So they are providing the access. You can subscribe here and you can get your online data power access. You can able to go and play your play on the box, and you can able to do your exercise here. It's a monthly, they are costing some money. I don't know how much they are costing it. So this is the one of the provider you can able to get access online if you don't have a data power access to learn the data power. So these are all the appliance overview. So thank you for your time to attending this session. So we will meet you with another topic very soon. Thank you.